The cake is on its way, but this was very last minute, and this is not about the cake.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most gut-bustingly hilarious scenes from the Hulu series Only Murders in the Building.
Would an amateur pretend to be making a call while secretly taking photos for our murder board? Oh yes, yes, I can hold.
Our list contains some light spoilers. Number 10. Oliver tests the murder theory.
In 1981, I participated in a 24-hour kickline fundraiser.
Like a rocket?
Exactly like a rocket. It was called Let's Kick Rickets to the Curb, and if we have extra, send it to AIDS.
The fourth season of Only Murders in the Building introduces us to the Arconia's West Tower, from which the gang's presumed murderer took the shot that killed Saz Pataki in the previous season's finale. But a troubling question arises as the trio attempts to piece the puzzle together. Could the suspect have committed the crime and run back to the main building to collect the body in time? 12 minutes to be exact? Well, Oliver bravely tests out this theory, and the results are unsuccessful but hilarious.
Kids on leashes should be illegal. I'm trying to do something here. Get back!
Hey! Nice outfit, jackass!
After battling birds, berating a group of children on leashes, and being screamed at by John McEnroe, Oliver asks Mabel what his time was. To which she replies,
It's been 38 minutes.
What?
"So close, Oliver." Number 9. The Knife.
Oh, God, do you not wash these? What?
Is that blood?
The main trio is getting a lot of extra help from an unknown source. Evidence from the latest murder keeps showing up in their apartment. A bloody knife, presumably the murder weapon, becomes the object of some tension. But Oliver, spooked by a knock at the door, flings it so violently it embeds in Charles's ceiling.
Why am I holding this knife?
A hilariously suspenseful scene with their needy and eccentric neighbor Howard plays out as he unknowingly stands right under the precarious weapon. No one can manage to go from calm to panic with as fast a turnaround as Martin Short.
Nina Lynn punched me. She is violent, and after backstabbing Bunny, I think she might have front stabbed her too. She will cut a bitch. You can use that in the podcast.
It gives the eccentric theater director he plays a flair for being completely unhinged. Number 8. Everyone hated this guy.
Our podcast is never going to pop until we know who is Tim Kono.
Who was Tim Kono?
Yeah, well, I've already named the episode Who is Tim Kono, so...
Charles, Mabel, and Oliver attend a building-wide memorial service for the dead Tim Kono, hoping to spot a likely suspect among their neighbors. Unfortunately, Tim is not anyone's favorite person. Every single resident of the building seems to have had beef with the guy, and no one is all that sorry to see him go.
A lovely memory, the kindness. Anyone? Yes.
Does this mean we get to use our fireplaces again?
Yeah, he was the guy with bad asthma, right?
In fact, they're just thrilled they can use their fireplaces again. And the neighbor next door already called dibs on his now vacant apartment. Instead of limiting the pool of potential suspects, this scene just opens up an overwhelming number of possibilities.
So our victim is less likable than a dead cat.
Number 7. Oliver needs a moment.
The Tony Award goes to... The Night!
So that's our showstopper. Do you love it or do you love it?
The show's 3rd season presents murder and mayhem behind the scenes of a musical. Oliver puts his director cap back on for the whodunit musical Death Rattle Dazzle. While it gives him a great vantage point to investigate a new murder in the building, it also introduces some great moments of stress, beautifully played by Martin Short.
And here come the crabmen.
The what?
And the crabmen are breeding. And now, cue the nanny.
Money troubles and lackluster performances dog the production. One disastrous rehearsal leaves Oliver feeling a little devastated. Hopeless, he tries to put on his best face before calmly disappearing into the kitchen to hurl verbal abuse at himself.
You're screwed, Putnam! Your dreams are dust now!
Welcome to hell! And you're your own Satan!
Number 6. A Quadruple Threat.
Do you think someone will die again?
Oliver's career might die again.
Ooh, I like the way you think, Matthew Broderick.
His leading actor takes a little too much chemical assistance before the musical's big opening, but Oliver Putnam believes the show must go on. He assumes the role himself.
Well, it rattles your soul as the dark takes control. It's enough to drive you wild.
This last-minute switch goes about as well as you would expect. The acerbic Uma Heller sums it up in as harsh a way as possible.
Broadway's first quadruple threat. Can't sing, dance, direct, or act.
You had a lot of fun.
You're a creature of the night.
Oliver is a quadruple threat. He's bad at everything he does. She may be blunt, but maybe she's the theater critic the show needs. We can only imagine how quickly her reviews would make her the show's next murder victim. Number 5, Charles goes full Brazos.
You know, I've played this scene 100 times on my show. Especially season 9 when the budget got cut and we could only afford to shoot in interrogation rooms, so I know your tricks.
With a new season came an entirely new mystery to solve. Charles Hayden Savage, formerly the star of the fictional police procedural Brazos, dips back into his character's hard-boiled persona when he's arrested for murder. Unfortunately, Brazos just doesn't hit the same way in real life.
And Brazos is doing a cross-promotion with Golden Girls, so we go on Password, and my partner is Betty White, who turns every clue into, like, something naughty.
As he's been reminded several times over the course of the show, investigating murders is not as easy as it looks on TV. Everything he knows is really just what TV writers came up with. He mistakes a decorative mirror for a two-way mirror and generally makes a fool of himself in front of the interrogating officers.
Hi, Charles Hayden Savage.
It's a decorative mirror, Charles. I think the two-way you're looking for is on this wall.
I knew that.
Number 4, Oliver's tooth comes out.
You do like pork chops, though, don't you?
Oh, sure. Love solid food. Love chewing on a chop.
In season 3, Meryl Streep joins the cast as an aspiring actress who falls for Oliver. During what should be a romantic candlelit dinner for two, Loretta's pork chop proves to be a tough sell.
So solid, so fully formed, you know.
Damn broiler.
I know it. It's just, oh, what the hell, I'm just gonna, look at this. That's what I'm gonna.
Wow.
It's actually so tough that Oliver's tooth literally becomes embedded in the meat. What might spoil anyone else's meal becomes something truly sweet and totally bizarre. Oliver starts whistling through the gap in his teeth, and Loretta compares his snorting laugh to an adorable little piglet. These two weirdos deserve each other. It makes it even sweeter that Streep and Short are such close friends in real life. Number 3, Charles's father.
So my father was the subject of a very pricey piece of erotica.
It's not every day that a picture of your father ends up being a clue to a murder mystery. It's also not every day that you find out your father might have posed without clothes for a portrait. When a mysterious person, presumably the killer, leaves an erotic portrait of Charles's father in his apartment and then vanishes, it raises a whole lot of questions.
Super valuable painting of your father that was stolen from a murdered woman's apartment, planted in yours. And that's the part you can't get over? The sex part? Men.
We're the worst. Time's up.
Who was his father? Did we know him at all? Is that a shadow or...
His balls.
Wonderful things for you to work out in therapy.
Between Charles's ensuing identity crisis, Oliver's focus on the wrong things, and Mabel's exasperation with men being weird, it's moments like this that really make the show. Number 2, the Parrot.
You said you know who did it.
Who did it?
It's just perfect that Bunny had a pet as obnoxious as she was.
A prized piece of evidence arrives at Charles's door. It's the latest murder victim's pet parrot, who tells them it knows who the killer is. Mabel, being the most sensible one, suggests they try imitating the parrot's deceased owner to get it to spill what it knows.
Mrs. Gambolini, it's me, Bunny. What the happened to me, huh?
That was a terrible bunny. The key to a good bunny is raising your voice without raising your voice.
Oliver and Charles, ever the hams, take turns trying to adopt the owner's characteristically nasal croak of a voice. Of course, because these two can't ever work together, it becomes an impromptu contest to see which of them can do the best impression, while an annoyed Mabel looks on.
This won't take long unless you make it take long.
Yeah, but we're doing Bunny. Listen to this.
Jeez.
If you're a murderer, stop murdering!
Yeah, well,
Hey!
I had them.
We need to start making progress here.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Charles meets Evelyn.
You know, I heard this once, and maybe you can appreciate it. A cat never really leaves you because they transmit parasites.
Mabel and Charles drop in on their grieving neighbor Howard to pay their respects after the recent death of his cat Evelyn. However, their real motive is to question him about Tim Kono's murderer. This goes as disastrously as we could hope for when Howard passes out at the sight of Charles's nosebleed, and they're forced to take care of him. In his panic, Charles goes to the freezer for some ice and comes face to face with Evelyn herself. Howard has frozen his cat and stored her in his freezer, presumably next to some frozen pizzas.
You're taking too long! Hurry, Brazos!
It's one of those moments when the show asks how much we know and how much we want to know about our neighbors.
You know, there's a cat in your freezer.
What's the moment that made you fall in love with the residents of the Arconia? Tell us in the comments.
Stay alive, no matter what occurs. I will find you, no matter how long it takes. I will find you.
Platinum!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.